Hi there, and welcome to a Popetti Math YouTube tutorial where I'm going to be teaching you, yes, you, Algebra 1. And in this video, we're going to continue on from exercises numbers 1 and 2, where we talked about what a function was, the definition, and where we see two examples of functions in real life. If you haven't watched those videos, I suggest you go back and watch those two videos before going on with this one. Otherwise, we're all set and ready to go with exercise number 3. It says examine the set of points below. Determine the sets that are functions and the sets that are not functions. And then it looks like we're going to have to do some explaining too, whether it is or is not a function. So in part A, we have 3, 5, 2, 7, -3, 8, and -7, 4. And if we go back to what our definition of a function is, it's that each input has exactly one output. So let's start with this 3. It said in our definition also that another name for input was our x value. So every one of these x values have to have exactly one y value. So 3 has an output of 5. Is there another 3 here that has an output of something else? And the answer is no. 2 has an output of 7. Is there another 2 here that has an output of something other than 7? No. -3 has an output of 8. Is there another -3 here that has an output of something else? And the answer is no again. And -7 has an output of 4. And there's no other -7s here that have an output of anything other than 4. So each of these inputs have exactly one output. So this is a function because each input has exactly one output. Simple enough. Now let's take a look at part B. Part B has -4, 0, 3, 6, 7, 5, and 3, 9. So again, let's start with the -4. -4 has an output of 0. Is there another -4 here that has an output of something other than 0? No. 3 has an output of 6. Is there another 3 as an input here that has an output of something other than 6? And hold on a second. We do have another 3 here, and that 3 has an output of 9. So 3 has an output of 6, and it also has an output of 9. So based on this set of points, if I were to say, what's the output when the input is 3, you wouldn't be able to give me a definite single answer. Because if you said 6, you'd be right. If you said 9, you'd be right. If you said 6 or 9, you'd be right. But remember, you can't have more than one output for each input. So remember, we can only have exactly one output for each input. So is this a function? And the answer is no. And to explain, we're going to say because 3 has 2 different outputs, and in a function, each input has exactly one output. So that's not a function right there. All right. Let's go on to part C now and take a look at that one. We have 10, 3, 4, 3, -2, 9, and 0, 0. So again, let's just go through our inputs here and let's take a look. 10 is the only input of 10 I see, so it goes to 3. 4, I don't see any other inputs of 4 over here. -2 has an output of 9. I don't see any other -2s here. And 0 has an output of 0. I don't see any other zeros. So this one is a function. And if you're hung up on this part where both of those are going to 3, that's okay. Two different inputs are allowed to have the same output, but one input can't have two different outputs. Let's rewind that again. You could do it on the bottom scroll bar on your screen, or I'll just say it again. Two different inputs could have the same output, but one input cannot have two different inputs. think I said that wrong. Two different, let's try this again. Two different inputs could lead to the same output, but one input cannot have two different outputs. That's correct. Let's say it one more time just to make sure we got it, or I got it, or you got it, or whoever's watching this video right now. Two different inputs could have the same output, but one input cannot have two different outputs. All right, now we know it. That's good. Okay, so now this is a function because each input has exactly one output. And finally, in part D, we have 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, and 3, 3. Well, it's trying to throw us off here by putting all the same numbers. We're not going to fall for this trap because 0 has an output of 0. There's no other zeros. 1 has an output of 1. There's no other 1s as inputs. 2 has an output of 2. There's no other 2s as inputs. And finally, 3 has an output of 3. There's no other 3s as inputs. So this sure is a function because each input, guess what, has exactly, fill in the blanks, one, there we go, you got it, output. And that's all for exercise number 3, where we look at a set of points to determine if it's a function or not, and then explain why. At this point, if you are able to look at a set of points and determine if that set of points is a function or not, give this video a thumbs up to let me know that I helped you do so. Now you're ready for exercise number 4, where you're going to look at tables. And you can access that video by clicking on the link right here. Thank you for watching.